So after this whole crying tour that Taraji P. Henson has been on about pay disparities, blaming Oprah, or what it seemed to be, she now wants to so-called give Oprah her flowers and say Oprah came to the rescue as soon as she heard and fixed everything that Taraji needed. But if that's the case, why you throw Oprah under the bus in the first place, letting everybody think that she was so terrible up until now? Let's go to the talk for the video.
And music theory I wasn't getting it. It's like math. I'm not math, I'm not wired math. That's why I'm an actress. So, but I can count them dollars. That's right.
If you knew how to count them dollars, how come you keep negotiating to get paid in change? As soon as the movie was over, you were up here looking like, stop trying to pay me with Salvation Army quarters.
But speaking of money,
yeah,
you and I have been in this business a long time, and we both have talked about pay disparities, especially black women in this industry. And I appreciate you, and I thank you for using your platform to bring forth this important issue. So I just want to. I want to give you your flowers right now.
Thank you.
That this discussion being had by all of us will lift all of us. Now,
let me just say, I just want to say, I don't speak just for black women. I speak for women of color.
Listen, go check out Dr. Claude Anderson with this. People of color is a term that was used to take resources that were allocated for black people and spread them around so black people couldn't get the full use of those resources. So why do we always want to speak for everybody else before we even speak for ourselves? Like, it's a black film full of black people. Oprah produced it. You're black. Like, just say you're speaking for black. I understand the group mentality and want to look out for them too. But there's nothing wrong with wanting to look out for your own first.
Right.
But see, let me tell you what's important. That's why it's important to have women in color and diversity in companies. Because if it were not for Oprah Winfrey producing this film, I don't know if I would have been seen or heard. You know, that's what producers do. Because she actually called me and was like, if there's anything I can do, you just let me know. And I said, I was nervous because it is Oprah. Yeah. And I was like, well, since you asked, I told her. She fixed it, everything the next day.
Well, then I'm going to add to who I'm giving flowers to. I give the flowers to you, and I give the flowers to Miss Oprah Winfrey.
Absolutely.
That's right. Give the flowers.
So you mean to tell me all this time we've been thinking Oprah was the villain in this womanhood situation, right? Like trying to underpay Taraji. But then as we find out from Oprah, it wasn't her. She wasn't in the studio. And then it was your fault for not negotiating what you wanted. But you threw Oprah under the bus because we thought Oprah owned this whole movie, right? Unbeknownst to us, she's just producing it. And she came to save the day for you. But you never mentioned it all the time. You've been crying on this tour, letting everybody think that Oprah was the problem. And the whole time you were being the villain in this so-called womanhood situation for the one woman who came and saved the day for you. Now here you want to come out and give her flowers. You know what? I can understand why Oprah was acting like this when y'all was on the Empire State Building.
We're going to go over body language. Let's look at Oprah. You see how she looked at Taraji and quickly looks away. And now look at Taraji. Look at her legs. She locks it away from Oprah, looking up, fluttering her eye, trying to hold back tears. But she's trying to be professional, but she leans into Oprah. Oprah pulls away. Fake laugh. We all know that's fake. That's fine. But they're trying to release that negative energy outside their bodies. Oprah is all closed up. She's not even trying to open up and was closing in on Oprah. Oprah pulls out, trying to find an escape, goes right behind Gano Brooks. I look at Taraji's face. She's just like not having it. And notice how Oprah is suddenly now opened up with her arms. And look at Fantasia's face. Look at Taraji as if we're almost to the ending of this. Don't worry. Something definitely happened here. And now look at how Oprah has her arms and her hand. You know, Oprah don't touch people like that. And then you see how loud they're singing.
Yeah, it's understandable that she reacted like that because now, way later, you're telling this story. You're like, oh, Oprah called and fixed everything. How come you ain't say that all this time? All this time, you've been having everybody assume that Oprah was the villain in this situation and that it was all this tension between y'all. And, you know, Oprah was trying to make it like it wasn't no tension or no thing between y'all, but she heard you. She heard you talking, and I'm sure she was wondering, like, I ain't had nothing to do with your contract and how you negotiated it. I'm sorry you did a bad job at that, but I ain't had nothing to do with that. But yet I called the studio and called these people and that people and fixed it all. If they weren't going to fix it, Oprah said she offered to pay for it herself if they weren't willing to fix it. So it's like all this time you to let people think. Crying and all the pay disparities. I'm just saying you could have cried. All the things you're saying could have some validity to it, but pointed in the right direction. Instead of pointed in the direction of the black woman that solved the problem, pointed at the white folk behind the studio, Warner Brothers, that were giving you the problems over this stuff. And if not them, pointed at yourself. Because you get what you negotiate. Phase out, like I said this in a bunch of videos before. You cannot be mad at people. And I almost walked away from the deal, this, that, and the other. You almost, but you didn't. You accepted the deal. You negotiated the deal. You accepted it. And then you cry after it later. Listen to what Phase Out Love had to say about this.
Taraji a couple weeks ago came out and was speaking about, after she talked about, I guess in preparing for the premiere of The Color Purple, was talking about obviously her wages and how she's treated in Hollywood. How do you feel like black women or women in general are treated in Hollywood from your experience?
Man, that's such a... Listen, let me say this. You get what you negotiate for.
Ooh, that's a fact. It's a fact.
To cry after, there's so many black actors been working for years. I don't know what they get. I don't, Gina Hall, I don't know what she gets. She's amazing.
Yeah.
But she was here before, how about, I give you one. You ever see this, I can't believe, I tried to think of her name earlier.
Cheryl Lee Ralph?
Cheryl Lee Ralph.
Yeah. She played on Moesha.
Moesha. She's been around since 72. Killing it. Ask her. Is she making what Taraji is making? It's all really irrelevant. But I know for a fact, black actors are not paid, are treated differently. But that's not going to change until we change it. Mm-hmm. I think her problem now, she got caught in the downfall of the industry. And I don't think, the movie costs $90 million. I think it's made over, 40 million? A movie's got to make 3 times that. It's got to make $200 million to even get to be in the green.
Wow.
Well, look, man, like we said, we're not trying to get too down on Taraji, but we just being real. Like, listen, we know that black folks go through a lot, and we always get the short end of the stick. People offered us the crumbs instead of a piece of cake. You know what I'm saying? And they do us like that in these industries, but it will not change until we change it. This is why, if you feel like you're being done this way, you have to suck it up and walk away, so that they know you mean business and you're not going to accept lower than what you are because they offered it to you. But we got to be real. If they offer you the crumbs and you take it, the next person coming along to do a movie for you is going to offer you the same crumbs. They're not going to offer you an astronomical price, So, and he brought up a great point about Cheryl Lee Ralph with this. She's been in the game for a long time. Beautiful lady. She's so fine still. And like you said, ask her what she's making. Because she's probably not making what Taraji's making. But due to her winning an award recently, it gives her the extra notice to be able to demand more the next deal that she goes into. And that's what you have to do. Demand more, negotiate better. Taraji says she fired her team before because they didn't negotiate well on her behalf or find her, better sponsorships or deals or whatever, and new movies to get into. But the new team doesn't seem to be doing the same neither. Like you got to make sure they are negotiating well on your behalf. And the last stop comes to you. If you don't agree with the number or you don't think the number is sitting right with you, you either got to pass on it, but you can't accept it and then cry about it after. You know what I'm saying? Nor should you throw Oprah under the bus for helping you through it. You dig what I'm saying? But this your boy P Camp. Let me know what you think, what you don't think. Get at your boy.